Good evening. Welcome to a very special program. Tomorrow, Lok Sabha elections 2024 will begin with voting for 102 seats. The biggest phase in these elections, with voting spread across the length and breadth of the country in 21 states and union territories.
In 2019, the UPA had won 45 of these 102 seats that go to polls tomorrow. The NDA had won 41. 6 of these seats have not been redrawn as a part of the delimitation exercise. Now, significantly, polling will be held in all of the seats in Tamil Nadu. All 39 seats polling will be held, in addition to smaller states across the northeast, Lakshadweep and the Andaman and Nicobar Islands.
On the show tonight, and it's a 90-minute special, a deep dive into what's at stake, the clash of ideologies, the clash of manifestos, a look back at the feverish pitch of campaigning, the big faces whose political fate will be decided when polling happens tomorrow. I'm Vishnu Shah.
And I'm Gargi Rawat, and we'll be going across to our reporters as well. Remember to continue watching NDTV special coverage of these elections. We'll be joined by Vedant and Saurabh, and Ronak will be joining us from Nagpur, Vedant from Alwar, and Saurabh will be joining us from Cooch Behar, as all these places will see polling tomorrow in the first phase of the elections.
But I'll tell you what, Gargi, I think it's time to give our viewers an idea of where all it's happening, because so many states, the biggest phase. So I'm just going to go across now to the big screen and point out the areas where it's all going to be taken. 102 seats in 21 states. And let's bring up the graphics so that we can indicate where it's happening. Small states and union territories, the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. It's also taking place in Arunachal Pradesh, 2 seats over there. Assam, 5 seats, so a part of Assam. Bihar, 4 seats. The south of Bihar. Chhattisgarh, just 1 seat. Jammu and Kashmir, just 1 seat. Lakshadweep, the Lakshadweep Islands has only 1, so 1 seat over there. Madhya Pradesh, 6. So the east and the southeast of Madhya Pradesh, significantly 5 in Maharashtra. But as we go through this, also Manipur, 2 seats over there. Most of the states in the northeast will be covered tomorrow in many of their seats. 2 seats in Meghalaya as well. Nagaland, 1 seat. And Puducherry, 1. And then, of course, Rajasthan, 12. So not all, about half the number of seats in Rajasthan. Sikkim, 1. And finally, the really big one tomorrow in terms of the overall number of seats, more than any other state, 39 of 39 seats in Rajasthan go to voting tomorrow. But let's give you an idea of what happened in 2019. The phase 1 results in 2019, all of these seats that we are talking about, the results in 102 seats, the NDA had won 47. The India Alliance, of course, the India Alliance didn't exist then, but those representing the India Alliance now had won 49. So a slender lead to the India Alliance then in those states, led primarily by the performance of the Congress and its allies, the DMK, of course, in Tamil Nadu. In terms of the number of seats, if you look at the 2 major parties, the Congress well below the BJP, which had done well as an individual party. The number, as I mentioned, was driven last time around primarily by that Tamil Nadu situation where the DMK did well. 102 constituencies in phase 1 in numbers. These are the constituencies which will be going to polls tomorrow. 16.6 crore voters will be involved tomorrow. 1,625 candidates. We've got a breakup of those candidates. 134 of those candidates are women. 1.87 lakh polling stations. It is a mammoth exercise, but then what is it mammoth about our election process? 18 lakh security personnel and others also deployed for this particular process, and it is just the first phase of these elections. It's going to be a long, hot summer, and it's all starting out now. Good evening. Welcome to a very special program. Tomorrow, Lok Sabha elections 2024 will begin with voting for 102 seats. The biggest phase in these elections, with voting spread across the length and breadth of the country in 21 states and union territories.
In 2019, the UPA had won 45 of these 102 seats that go to polls tomorrow. The NDA had won 41. 6 of these seats have not been redrawn as a part of the delimitation exercise. Now, significantly, polling will be held in all of the seats in Tamil Nadu. All 39 seats polling will be held, in addition to smaller states across the northeast, Lakshadweep and the Andaman and Nicobar Islands.
On the show tonight, and it's a 90-minute special, a deep dive into what's at stake, the clash of ideologies, the clash of manifestos, a look back at the feverish pitch of campaigning, the big faces whose political fate will be decided when polling happens tomorrow. I'm Vishnu Shaw.
And I'm Gargi Rawat, and we'll be going across to our reporters as well. Remember to continue watching NDTV special coverage of these elections. We'll be joined by Vedant and Saurabh, and Ronak will be joining us from Nagpur, Vedant from Alwar, and Saurabh will be joining us from Cooch Behar, as all these places will see polling tomorrow in the first phase of the elections.
But I'll tell you what, Gargi, I think it's time to give our viewers an idea of where all it's happening, because so many states, the biggest phase. So I'm just going to go across now to the big screen and point out the areas where it's all going to be taken. 102 seats in 21 states. And let's bring up the graphics so that we can indicate where it's happening. Small states and union territories, the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. It's also taking place in Arunachal Pradesh, 2 seats over there. Assam, 5 seats, so a part of Assam. Bihar, 4 seats. The south of Bihar. Chhattisgarh, just 1 seat. Jammu and Kashmir, just 1 seat. Lakshadweep, the Lakshadweep Islands has only 1, so 1 seat over there. Madhya Pradesh, 6. So the east and the southeast of Madhya Pradesh, significantly 5 in Maharashtra. But as we go through this, also Manipur, 2 seats over there. Most of the states in the northeast will be covered tomorrow in many of their seats. 2 seats in Meghalaya as well. Nagaland, 1 seat. And Puducherry, 1. And then, of course, Rajasthan, 12. So not all, about half the number of seats in Rajasthan. Sikkim, 1. And finally, the really big one tomorrow in terms of the overall number of seats, more than any other state, 39 of 39 seats in Rajasthan go to voting tomorrow. But let's give you an idea of what happened in 2019. The phase 1 results in 2019, all of these seats that we are talking about, the results in 102 seats, the NDA had won 47. The India Alliance, of course, the India Alliance didn't exist then, but those representing the India Alliance now had won 49. So a slender lead to the India Alliance then in those states, led primarily by the performance of the Congress and its allies, the DMK, of course, in Tamil Nadu. In terms of the number of seats, if you look at the 2 major parties, the Congress well below the BJP, which had done well as an individual party. The number, as I mentioned, was driven last time around primarily by that Tamil Nadu situation where the DMK did well. 102 constituencies in phase 1 in numbers. These are the constituencies which will be going to polls tomorrow. 16.6 crore voters will be involved tomorrow. 1,625 candidates. We've got a breakup of those candidates. 134 of those candidates are women. 1.87 lakh polling stations. It is a mammoth exercise, but then what is it mammoth about our election process? 18 lakh security personnel and others also deployed for this particular process, and it is just the first phase of these elections. It's going to be a long, hot summer, and it's all starting out now. Good evening, welcome to a very special program. Tomorrow, Lok Sabha elections 2024 will begin with voting for 102 seats. The biggest phase in these elections, with voting spread across the length and breadth of the country in 21 states and union territories.
In 2019, the UPA had won 45 of these 102 seats that go to polls tomorrow. The NDA had won 41. 6 of these seats have not been redrawn as a part of the delimitation exercise. Now, significantly, polling will be held in all of the seats in Tamil Nadu. All 39 seats polling will be held, in addition to smaller states across the northeast, Lakshadweep and the Andaman and Nicobar Islands.
On the show tonight, and it's a 90-minute special, a deep dive into what's at stake, the clash of ideologies, the clash of manifestos, a look back at the feverish pitch of campaigning, the big faces whose political fate will be decided when polling happens tomorrow. I'm Vishnu Shaw.
And I'm Gargi Rawat, and we'll be going across to our reporters as well. Remember to continue watching NDTV special coverage of these elections. We'll be joined by Vedant and Saurabh, and Ronak will be joining us from Nagpur, Vedant from Alwar, and Saurabh will be joining us from Cooch Behar, as all these places will see polling tomorrow in the first phase of the elections.
But I'll tell you what, Gargi, I think it's time to give our viewers an idea of where all it's happening, because so many states, the biggest phase. So I'm just going to go across now to the big screen and point out the areas where it's all going to be taken. 102 seats in 21 states. And let's bring up the graphics so that we can indicate where it's happening. Small states and union territories, the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. It's also taking place in Arunachal Pradesh, 2 seats over there. Assam, 5 seats, so a part of Assam. Bihar, 4 seats. The south of Bihar. Chhattisgarh, just 1 seat. Jammu and Kashmir, just 1 seat. Lakshadweep, the Lakshadweep Islands has only 1, so 1 seat over there. Madhya Pradesh, 6. So the east and the southeast of Madhya Pradesh, significantly 5 in Maharashtra. But as we go through this, also Manipur, 2 seats over there. Most of the states in the northeast will be covered tomorrow in many of their seats. 2 seats in Meghalaya as well. Nagaland, 1 seat. And Puducherry, 1. And then, of course, Rajasthan, 12. So not all, about half the number of seats in Rajasthan. Sikkim, 1. And finally, the really big one tomorrow in terms of the overall number of seats, more than any other state, 39 of 39 seats in Rajasthan go to voting tomorrow. But let's give you an idea of what happened in 2019. The phase 1 results in 2019, all of these seats that we are talking about, the results in 102 seats, the NDA had won 47. The India Alliance, of course the India Alliance didn't exist then, but those representing the India Alliance now had won 49. So a slender lead to the India Alliance then in those states, led primarily by the performance of the Congress and its allies, the DMK of course, in Tamil Nadu. In terms of the number of seats, if you look at the 2 major parties, the Congress well below the BJP, which had done well as an individual party. The number, as I mentioned, was driven last time around primarily by that Tamil Nadu situation where the DMK did well. 102 constituencies in phase 1 in numbers. These are the constituencies which will be going to polls tomorrow. 16.6 crore voters will be involved tomorrow. 1,625 candidates. We've got a breakup of those candidates. 134 of those candidates are women. 1.87 lakh polling stations. It is a mammoth exercise, but then what is it mammoth about our election process? 18 lakh security personnel and others also deployed for this particular process, and it is just the first phase of these elections. It's going to be a long, hot summer, and it's all starting out now. Gargi's got a list of the big contestants.
That's right. It's going to be a long election with 7 phases tomorrow. The first phase, the biggest phase of these elections. So let's just take a look at some of the prominent faces of this particular phase. So in Rajasthan, from Alwar, you have a Union Environment Minister, Bhupendra Yadav, who has hit the dust and the heat of the campaign trail, and he's contesting for the first time. He was a Rajya Sabha member, and you have Sarbanand Sonowal, former Assam Chief Minister, contesting from Dibrugarh in Assam. Union Minister Kiran Rijiju once again contesting from Arunachal West, and hoping to return, of course, for the 4th time to Parliament. Gaurav Gogoi, son of the former Chief Minister of Assam and very popular Chief Minister Tarun Gogoi. This time he is contesting from Jorhat. He has been a member of Parliament before, but he has changed his seat this time to Jorhat, and this is something the Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma has been campaigning quite actively against him. Nitin Gadkari contesting once again from Nagpur and hoping for a hat-trick. Union Minister Nitin Gadkari from Nagpur. Kanimoi is contesting from Thoothukudi and hoping to win it again. She is the sister of Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Stalin. A Raja, another senior leader of the DMK and has been former telecom minister and union minister, will be contesting again from the Nilgiris and belonging to the same same family of Stalin. You have his nephew, Dayanidhi Maran, contesting from the DMK from Chennai Central. Also in Tamil Nadu, which is the one to watch out for tomorrow, as all 39 seats go to the polls. K. Annamalai, the BJP chief in Tamil Nadu, someone who's been really leading the entire effort of the BJP in Tamil Nadu. He took out that Pad Yatra, but can he really translate it into votes? Coimbatore is the one seat which the BJP is very, very hopeful about. Then Dr. Tamilisai Soundarajan, someone who contested the elections last time. She lost, then became a governor. She was the governor of Telangana, and then she resigned and re-entered active politics, and she's contesting from Chennai South. Then you have a former congressman, someone who's seen as close to the Gandhi family, Jitin Prasad, who joined the BJP a few years ago. He is someone who's been a union minister in the UPA government, and he is contesting from Pilibhit, and that's very interesting, as you know, this time Varun Gandhi did not get that ticket from the BJP. He'd become quite a critic of the BJP, criticizing several policies as well of the Modi-led government, and he was skipped over for the ticket this time around. It was given to Jitin Prasad. So this is a new area for him, and the Congress has been campaigning against him, calling him an outsider. The Samajwadi Party, the Congress, the alliance there in Uttar Pradesh. Karti Chidambaram hoping to win once again from Sivaganga, son of senior Congress leader P. Chidambaram, and Dr. Jitendra Singh, union minister, hoping for a hat-trick from Udhampur, though this time he's facing Mr. Chaudhary, a candidate from the Congress, who's also being supported by the PDP and NC. And then you have big minority leader Imran Masood contesting from Saharanpur. He's somebody who was in the Congress. He left, he did the rounds, he went to the Samajwadi Party, then went to the BSP, he was expelled, and then he returned to the Congress, saying he's going to stay in the Congress now. So he is contesting from Saharanpur. That's one seat the Congress is very hopeful about. Anil Baluni is contesting from Garhwal. The BJP media had a spokesperson. He's actually, and Garhwal, the district is a very prominent one. It has all the major dhams of Uttarakhand. And you have Manikam Tagore, who is contesting from Virudhunagar, from the Congress party there in Tamil Nadu, hoping to return. He is the sitting MP from this constituency, and he's hoping to return, though he's facing some star candidates in this time around in this election. Well, Vishnu, let's now go across to all our reporters to find out what's happening there on the ground on the eve of elections.
We've got Ronak Kukre joining us from Nagpur. Saurav Gupta joins us from Kuch Bihar. Vedanta Agarwal covering the Rajasthan elections, besides many other elections that we'll make him cover. Vedant, let me come to you first. The Congress in Rajasthan was in a real crisis in the recent assembly elections. It was a crisis of leadership besides so many other things. Very little time. You're now into the Lok Sabha elections. Has there been any clear sign of the party reviving itself in the state?
Well, Rajasthan, Vishnu, has been in election mode for the past couple of months, in fact, because, you had the assembly elections here as well. But where I come to you from, the Alwar seat is extremely crucial. This time around, as Gargi mentioned, it's Bhupendra Yadav who will be taking on Lalit Yadav of the Congress. It was Baba Balak Nath's seat, last time around in 2019. We remember the national wave around Pulwama, and Baba Balak Nath had a landslide victory with more than 3 lakh votes in his favor. And I come to you from this iconic clock tower here in Alwar. In fact, Alwar this time is going to see a battle of Yadavs. But let us get a sense from some people here, because, there's a lot of farsan and mithai, which is all, Rajasthan elections is all about that, which is why it's such a reporter's delight to cover Rajasthan. You have, this clock tower market here, which is all about the farsan and mithai. Let me get a sense. Sir, अपना नाम बताइए. मनु जी, ये बताइए, कल अलवर वोट कर रहा है, किन मुद्दों पर वोटिंग होगी कल यहाँ पर?
अलवर का सबसे बड़ा मुद्दा पानी का है.
पानी की समस्या मुझे कई लोग बता रहे हैं कि बहुत बड़ी समस्या. क्या है ये? गांव की समस्या नहीं, शहर की समस्या है आपकी?
समस्या ये
क्या दिक्कत होती है?
पानी 3 दिन में एक बार आता है, नहीं आता तो 15-15 दिन में भी नहीं आता पानी.
अच्छा, एक बात और मुझे बताइए सर आप, कि अभी राजस्थान में स्टेट में भी इलेक्शंस हुए थे, तो स्टेट इलेक्शंस में और नेशनल इलेक्शन में क्या फ़र्क है? क्या आपके दिमाग में वही मुद्दे रहते हैं दोनों इलेक्शन में?
सर मुद्दे तो क्या सर, कैसे बताएं, मुद्दे तो कोई ऐसा नहीं है, लेकिन बस हाँ, बस जल संकट चल रहा है थोड़ा सा राजस्थान में. देखो, जब हो जाता है तो हो जाता है. अभी बीजेपी सरकार आई है, इससे पहले कांग्रेस सरकार थी, अब देखते हैं क्या होता है, अभी तो टाइम लगेगा, अभी 4-5 महीने हुए हैं।
Right. So, of course, Vishnu, in Rajasthan, we of course see there's a tradition of unseating the incumbent. And here in Alwar, the wind always blows in favor of the party in the center. So, remains to be seen whether Alwar maintains this tradition this time around as well or not.
Right, and the BJP really, when it comes to Rajasthan, it's the Prime Minister's face. It's the Prime Minister who is the person, leading the battle, and the votes are all asked for in the Prime Minister's name. But for the Congress, Vedanta, it's a real prestige issue now, because last 2 elections, they've been clean bowled, as it were. The BJP hoping for a hat-trick this time, 25 on 25. And the Congress, though, this time is talking about how they're going to, give them a tough fight and hopefully win back some of that prestige that they've lost by losing every election.
That's right. In fact, there's been a lot of brainstorming within the Congress here as well. They've focused particularly on the tribal seats. Remember, the Congress did really badly in the tribal seats in the state elections. In fact, the campaign this time has been focused a lot around those areas. In fact, areas like Churu, extremely important. Also, where Ashok Gehlot's son Vaibhav Gehlot is contesting from Jalore. That Jalore seat has seen a lot of high voltage campaigning from Gandhis on the campaign trail to, of course, Ashok Gehlot campaigning extensively for his son as well. In fact, within the Congress, there was some sort of infighting that we saw yet again with some leaders from the pilot camp saying that Gehlot is focusing only on his son's seat. But of course, then those rumors were, those reports were all sort of allayed. But this time around for the Congress, the real prestige battle is in the tribal seats, where the Prime Minister himself has focused a great deal. And if we talk about the Alwar belt, where I am coming to you from, this Alwar, these constituencies in and around Alwar have been in the news for, the mob lynchings, the Pehlu Khan lynching comes to mind, the Rakbar Khan lynching. So, this time around, of course, remember the Congress won 6 out of the 8 seats in the state assembly election. So, they hope to sort of ride high on that tide.
Sure, Vedant, I'm going to interrupt you. Quickly go across now to Saurabh Gupta. Saurabh, if you look at the performance of the BJP over the last couple of elections, the national elections in Bengal, there was a significant improvement over the last couple of elections, from very few seats to a better performance last time around. Given the extent of campaigning and their hopes, particularly around North Bengal, where does the BJP see itself in the state against Mamata, who has always been one of their strongest competitors?
Well, the BJP has an edge, and that edge is simply because of the fact that they have all these seats in North Bengal. All these seats in North Bengal are BJP-held seats, and therefore for the Trinamool to dislodge the BJP would take effort. Not to mention the parties put in that effort, but whether it will fructify into results or not is something that the voters will decide tomorrow when they vote in the voting booths. But Nishit Pramanik is a strong contender. He's been the Minister of State for Home Affairs in the Narendra Modi government. On the other side, you have Jagdish Basunia, who's again a local man, a fellow Rajbanshi candidate. The Rajbanshi community has considerable clout over electoral results here, and which way they vote can decide the fate of a candidate. The other seat that's going to polls is Alipurduar, which is the neighbouring constituency. There, the BJP had dropped the sitting MP and fielded Manoj Tigga, who's a man of the ground, who's their chief whip. And therefore, where amendments are required, even in North Bengal, where the BJP has seen a huge surge in support, they've made amendments to candidates and changed candidates when necessary. Jalpaiguri is again a closely contested seat, because remember, the Trinamool is trying to recover lost ground. Prime Minister Modi has campaigned in Cooch Behar, in Jalpaiguri. Mamata Banerjee, Abhishek Banerjee have all campaigned in all these seats, with the Trinamool focusing heavily on Jalpaiguri as well, given that there was a storm recently, you would remember, and a lot of the political dialogue over this storm in between these two parties happened, so that became a political issue. The 3 seats vote in the first phase tomorrow: Alipurduar, Jalpaiguri and Cooch Behar, where I'm coming to you from.
All right. Thanks so much, Saurabh, for joining us with all those details from Cooch Behar. And let's go across to Ronak Kukre now, who joins us from Nagpur. And Ronak, this is a seat that Nitin Gadkari, the Union Minister, is hoping for a hat-trick to win it for the 3rd time. Tell us more about the seats going to the polls tomorrow in phase 1.
ये देखिए, निश्चित तौर पर अगर नागपुर की बात की जाए तो तीसरी बार हैट्रिक लगाने के लिए यहाँ पर नितिन गडकरी मैदान में उतरे हैं। नितिन गडकरी ने लोगों से साफ तौर पर कहा है कि जिस तरह का डेवलपमेंट इस पूरे इलाके में किया है उसको देखकर ही यहाँ पर जो है वो मतदान करना चाहिए। कुछ नागपुर के लोग हैं जो कि इस वक्त यहाँ पर मौजूद हैं, उनसे जानेंगे। आप ये बताइए कि क्या मुद्दे हैं और क्या देखकर आप इस बार मतदान करने वाले हैं?
मतदान तो इस बार हम डेवलपमेंट देख के करेंगे कि नहीं, क्योंकि हमारे नागपुर के जो है नितिन जी गडकरी कि नहीं, उनके सामने तो मुझे लगता नहीं कोई कैंडिडेट टिक पाएगा, क्योंकि उनका जो डेवलपमेंट देख सकते हैं, सीमेंट रोड, मेट्रो, मिहान का डेवलपमेंट, जो हमारे इधर समृद्धि एक्सप्रेस बना है और हमारे इधर मेट्रो का नेक्स्ट फेज़ आने वाला है अभी जी, जो ऑलमोस्ट उसका काम चालू हो चुका है।
ये बताइए, आपका क्या नाम है?
सर निखिल नाम है
क्या काम करते हैं?
सर मैं JSW पेंट में हूँ।
अच्छा, ये बताइए कि कल मतदान होने जा रहा है, आप भी मतदान करेंगे, क्या आपके मुद्दे और क्या सोचकर मतदान करेंगे?
सर कैसा है कि अभी तक के जो काम हुआ है और जो कि काम कर रहा है यानी नितिन गडकरी जी ने जो किया है नागपुर के लिए, मीन्स ऑल ओवर इसके लिए, उसके हिसाब से हम लोग मतदान देंगे। या मीन्स एक सही उम्मीदवार को जिसने काम किया है रियलिटी, जैसे कि मेट्रो का सर ने काम किया है ना, और बाकी सारी चीज़ें हैं, जैसे कि मिहान में कुछ कंपनियाँ वगैरह आई है, अपनी नए IT कंपनीज वगैरह जैसे है ना, तो और रोडों के काम हुए हैं, उस हिसाब से सर हम मतदान करेंगे सर।
जी, आप देख सकते हैं कि निश्चित तौर पर ये कुछ यहाँ के ऐसे मुद्दे हैं जिसको लेकर यहाँ पर मतदान किया जाएगा। न केवल नागपुर में, आपको बता दूं कि विदर्भ की 5 सीटों पर कल मतदान होना है, जिसमें गढ़चिरौली ये नक्सल प्रभावित इलाका माना जाता है और वहाँ पर भी बीजेपी और कांग्रेस के बीच में सीधा मुकाबला जो है वो देखने को मिलेगा। इसके अलावा एक और सीट है चंद्रपुर की सीट, जो 2019 में केवल एकमात्र सीट जो कांग्रेस पार्टी ने जीती थी वो चंद्रपुर की सीट थी, और इस बार वहां पर फिर एक बार प्रतिभा धानोरकर, जो सुरेश धानोरकर की पत्नी है, वो सुधीर मुनगंटीवार को चुनौती दे रही है। सुधीर मुनगंटीवार की अगर बात की जाए तो बीजेपी के कद्दावर नेता है, पार्टी ने इस बार उन्हें लोकसभा के चुनाव में मैदान में उतारा है। फिलहाल वो महाराष्ट्र सरकार में वन मंत्री है। तो पिछली बार यानी 2019 की बात की जाए तो इन पांचों में से केवल एक सीट ही कांग्रेस जीत पाई थी। बीजेपी का एक गढ़ माना जाता है और उम्मीद ये की जा रही है, जिस तरह से प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी और गृह मंत्री अमित शाह ने इस पूरे इलाके में प्रचार किया, उसको देखते हुए बीजेपी ये देख रही है कि उन्हें एज है, लेकिन कल यहाँ की जनता जो है वो तय कर पाएगी। जी,
Right, Ronak, thanks very much for joining us. We are now joined by Sanjay Kumar, Professor and CSDS Political Analyst, Psephologist, Sandeep Shastri, Director of Academics at NITT Education Trust, National Coordinator at Lokniti. Thank you both for being with us. Excellent voices. Sanjay Kumar, first to you, I'd just like to turn our attention to Tamil Nadu. The Prime Minister has made 8 visits personally to Tamil Nadu. That's quite clearly an area of focus in this first phase, a huge one for the BJP. They didn't do as well as the UPA last time around in phase 1 in these particular seats. Do you believe that they worked particularly hard and have a chance of turning that around in these seats?
Vishnu, you're right that BJP has been working very hard in Tamil Nadu. It's not a work of the last few months. But I think if you look at Prime Minister Modi has been paying a lot of visit to Tamil Nadu. Remember, it started with when the new parliament was being inaugurated and the Sengol was being brought from Tamil Nadu. When the Pran Pratishtha ceremony was to take place on the 22nd of January. So in a way, Prime Minister Modi started his 10-day kind of a tour, moving from one temple to another, and it also started from Tamil Nadu. So it is very clear that BJP has been eyeing for Tamil Nadu, and also because Prime Minister Modi has made an appeal that this time BJP is setting an eye for 370 and NDA 400. That's only possible if BJP is able to expand its footprints in the southern state. Tamil Nadu is a very big state. 39 seats are from Tamil Nadu, and BJP has not done well in the past. 2019 Lok Sabha election, BJP only had 3% vote. So BJP has worked hard. There are enough signs that BJP support base has gone up. They have been able to form a good alliances. Whether this is going to get converted into seats or not, I think we still need to wait and see whether the increased support base of BJP will give electoral dividend in terms of number of seats to BJP from Tamil Nadu.
All right, and Sandeep Shastri, now to you. There are a lot of issues that one has been talking about in on news channels. The opposition has been raising the issue of electoral bonds, corruption. We just heard Rahul Gandhi and Akhilesh Yadav yesterday in their press conference also talking about it. And the Prime Minister has been talking about Viksit Bharat. The BJP has been talking about Viksit Bharat and also the Ram Temple. How much of a resonance does this criticism that the opposition has been raising really have with the electorate on the ground?
This is a valid question. Electoral bonds has the potential to become a point of debate. But I think in the nature of the contest and the nature of the campaign and what we have seen for the first round, I don't think that much attention has been paid to the electoral bonds issues. The opposition does not seem to have made it a very critical issue as part of their campaign. That, I think, is where the electoral bonds issues would lie. But I think in Tamil Nadu, what you see very interestingly and importantly happening is the effort of the BJP to redefine the agenda of the debate by shifting it away from a Dravidian contest to a Dravidian plus contest, by trying to displace the AIADMK and move into the second position as the alliance leader. That's what they are aiming to do tomorrow as part of their agenda. What I'll be looking for very closely in this one of the 5 seats which are going to the polls is, will the voter turnout increase? And if it increases, in which area it increases? Because that will give us an indication of what the trends are moving towards. Yeah. I'm not for a moment saying that any increase in voter turnout indicates either this way or that way. But I think in the areas where the increase happens, it would be an indication of certain trends which we can discern from what emerges.
Sanjay Kumar, as far as the BJP is concerned and, what they have been working on, not just now, but for a period of time, Article 370, they've spoken about a CA, the Uniform Civil Code, the entire issue of the Ram Temple. The opposition, particularly the Congress, has been banking on actual employment numbers on the ground, saying that rail employment was not being properly looked at. Do you believe that the entire issue of employment might end up being one of the fundamental themes in this election?
Sorry, Vishnu, I couldn't get to the point.
Are you able to hear me now?
I can hear you. It's a slightly low volume, but just...
The issue of employment, which is what the opposition has been talking about, is there anything statistically that you, as a statistician, also refer to actually perhaps analyze whether there is enough substance in this opposition argument that employment is something that's not working out in our country?
I don't think that there's no substance, because in the survey, what survey catches is the people's experience. Yes, the government can come out with a counter narrative citing various other data from other sources to say unemployment ratio has come down compared to 10 years ago or 15 years ago. That may be true, I'm not sure. But what survey does is to catch or gather people's actual experience on the ground. When we ask this question, do you think getting job has become easier or difficult compared to the past? A very large number of people, more than 60%, say getting a job is tough, has become more difficult now. When we ask what is the biggest concern for a voter like you for this election, unemployment comes to be number one, 27% choosing that and 23% mentioning price rise. So these are the real concerns on the ground, but I think these concerns are not shaping the voting decisions of the voter, because they are also looking at the other achievements of the government, which you have referred, Vishnu, in terms of Ram Mandir, in terms of how India has emerged stronger on the world map, Prime Minister Modi's image. So what voters do is they are considering both these issues. On one side, they think that government has not been able to do well on the issue of unemployment, price rise, but at the same time, they think government has done a remarkable job by removing Article 370, constructing a Ram Temple, which has been waiting for last 500 years. So what happens is that these issues are shaping the voters' voting choices of the voters much more
Right.
than their concern about unemployment and price rise.
All right, I'd like Sandeep Shastri also to quickly answer on that. And the BJP doing a good job of conveying its achievements, but at the same time, when they talk of Viksit Bharat, it's 2047, and equally so, talking about the Ram Temple as this huge achievement of the government.
I would fully endorse what Sanjay ji just now said, but add one or 2 points, and I will endorse because both of us are part of the same study that was done. My added point to what Sanjay ji said is, yes, employment is a concern, but is it about wanting better employment than my current employment or not having employment at all? See, when I say employment is a concern, am I saying that I'm not happy with the job I'm currently doing, or is it an aspiration for the future? Also, while unemployment or better employment is a concern, the question is, who do you look to for resolving that challenge? Do you look to the government or do you look to the opposition to resolve the challenge? So if it is going to become a voting issue, it depends on who is it that you perceive as the one who can solve the problem.
All right,
and
both
as
of you,
Sanjay said,
I'm
when a
just
voter
interrupting
goes
because I
to
need
the
to take a
polling
short
booth and
break.
looks at the
We're going to
EVM
come back
machine,
top of 9 o'clock in just 4 minutes from now, and we'll have our guests back for this fantastic analysis. What is this all about? India getting set to vote tomorrow. Phase 1, it's a huge phase, the biggest.
The biggest phase in this election. And remember to watch all the coverage right here on NDTV. We'll slip into a short break and return with more.
Good evening. The stage is set for the high-octane 2024 election battle, the first and biggest phase of the elections.
102 seats across 21 states vote tomorrow in the first phase of the 18th Lok Sabha elections.
Voting spreading across the length and the breadth of India, 21 states and union territories.
Ahead on the show, we'll be going across to our reporters. Now, in 2019, in this particular, the seats, the UPA had won 45 of them. Of these 102, the NDA 41. So we'll take you through all the highlights. We'll be going across to our reporters as well ahead to, find out about the key contests taking place in the various states.
In fact, let's just introduce Nikunj Garg joining us from Chhattisgarh. We've got Amritanshi who joins us as well from Chhindwara in Madhya Pradesh. Harsha Kumari Singh from Jaipur. Before we go across to the map, I'd like to go across to Nikunj first. Nikunj, a horrific Naxal attack, the loss of life, 29 people dead in Chhattisgarh. The issue of Naxalism back in sharp focus ahead of the first phase of polling. Could you give us an idea of the law and order situation in Bastar? What are authorities saying?
Well, absolutely, Vishnu. Unfortunate incident but that is not the end of it. In the last 2 odd months, there have been at least 3 massive encounters. Scores of people have been dead on both the sides, security forces as well as the alleged Naxals. Just day before yesterday, that is, 36 hours back, a BJP village Pradhan was hacked to death by the alleged Naxals in one of the villages in Naxal-affected Bastar. And this is the 9th such killing in last 3 odd months, where BJP workers or leaders have been killed in full public glare, in full public view in these Naxal-affected areas of Bastar and adjoining areas. Now, the small 11 number of seats here in entire state of Chhattisgarh. In terms of population, it's a small state, but in terms of geographical area, one of the amongst the mid-sized states of the country. But despite having only 11 seats, there are at least 3 phases of elections. It is same as 2019, and the first round always happens at the place where I am now standing, in the heart of the Naxal territory at Bastar, close to Jagdalpur at this point in time. And the first 3 seats, the elections will take place here. Just as we started our broadcast today at around 8 p.m., there was a massive security forces convoy that was wanting to go inside, and that was traveling to move inside with the poll officials to see the final round of poll preparedness before the polling starts tomorrow early morning. Now, this is, of course, in the entire stretch of the country right now, 21 states, 102 seats, fate of the at least 8 union ministers to be sealed tomorrow in the polling box, in the EVMs. this is the region where the violence has almost always marred elections.
Yep.
So the attempt once all over again would be to ensure that at least from the law and order point of view, the elections are violence free and there is no major untoward incident that takes place. However, as I said, during the assembly polls, during the Lok Sabha polls, almost always the elections have been marred by some amount of violence.
Yeah.
That's right.
An
And, really spare
reality
a
over
thought
there.
for
Yep.
the election officials who go out, to the very remote areas to help the tribals cast their votes. Let's now go across to Harsha, who joins us from Jaipur. And Harsha, in Rajasthan, the BJP hoping for a hat-trick again, 25 on 25. The Congress hoping to get back some of its lost prestige, given that it's always been a wipeout in the national elections.
Absolutely, and it's also a litmus test for the BJP leadership. Remember, there's been an absolutely new leadership that's taken charge in Rajasthan. First timer, Bhajan Lal Sharma is the chief minister here. So definitely the BJP is hoping in Rajasthan that they get 25 out of 25, and that will really be a hat trick for them. The Congress is hoping to open its account, but I must tell you, Gargi, that on the ground there is a contest. I mean, it's not such a a wipeout. There are at least 4 or 5 seats in the first phase which are in context. So, for example, Nagaur, where Jyoti Mirdha is taking on Hanuman Beniwal, the Jat strongman. It's the Jat arithmetic is caste versus caste in that sense, the same caste, but that seat is in a contest. So is Churu. Rahul Kaswaha has crossed over from the BJP to the Congress, and he's taking on para-Olympian gold medalist Devendra Jhajaria. That seat's in a contest. Dosa also, a tough fight there. So is Sikar. And of course, we were talking about union ministers who are fighting this election. So you have Arjun Ram Meghwal hoping to retain his seat, and Bhupendra Yadav, otherwise known as organization man, Rajya Sabha member, first time getting down into grassroots politics, getting down to the nitty-gritty, the brass tacks of democracy, so to speak. So in that sense, the first phase of Rajasthan is important. More than 5 crore voters, and about half of them, 2 crore plus, will be voting tomorrow in the first phase. Of course, the city of Jaipur, which doesn't have very big star candidates, but the city of Jaipur, where I am right now, is also voting tomorrow.
All right, I'm going to go across. Harsha, thanks very much to Amritanshi, who joins us from Chhindwara in Madhya Pradesh. Amritanshi, huge contest over there in Chhindwara. What's at stake for Kamal Nath?
So basically, Chhindwara is the most hottest seat of Madhya Pradesh because BJP in 2019 swept across 28 seats, leaving this seat for Congress. Congress only won on 1 seat in 2019. Though Chhindwara is the seat which has been continuing for the Nath family for 44 years. Basically, Kamal Nath and Nakul Nath are Kamal Nath won around 9 times, record 9 times he has been winning as an MP from this seat. Right now he's an MLA from the Chhindwara seat itself. Also, Nakul Nath in 2019 contested against Nathan Shah from BJP, though he defeated Nathan Shah from a lead of 35,000 votes. Also, this time Nakul Nath will be contesting as the candidate from the Congress, but BJP has fielded Bunty Sahu from their party. Though there has been a mass exodus from the Congress, and nearly many people who were very close to Kamal Nath, like Deepak Saxena or Syed Zafar, left the party and joined BJP just before the elections. Though the Chhindwara has been a particular 36% of tribal voters here, and it has been said that whoever won the heart of tribal voters easily gets the throne. Also, Chhindwara, around 16 lakh voters will be voting from 7 a.m. Tomorrow in the morning, and the male and the women population. Also, police has the proper system here. The law and order is been kept out from a very longer time, since 2 months the elections were announced. The Chhindwara seat is basically has been said as the hottest seat because the BJP National President JP Nadda held a public meeting here day before yesterday. Amit Shah was here for a road show. All the big faces were in Chhindwara.
Absolutely. So it is an absolutely huge area over there. Amritanshi, we'll keep coming back to you. But I think, Gargi, what might be useful now is just to give our viewers an overall idea of where it's all going to be taking place. So let me just quickly move across over here. Oops, did I get up too soon? Left that box over there. But let's bring up the map over here so that we can actually give our viewers an idea of where exactly all of this is going to be taking place. 102 seats, 21 states. We're going to quickly go through all of these states. It is the first phase of the elections, the biggest phase, a massive deployment of security personnel, of those involved in the poll process. Several parts of the northeast will be seeing polling taking place. It's going to be all across the country. This sees an incredible spread all across the country, right from the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Lakshadweep, the northeast of the country. Not all the seats of Assam, but certainly Arunachal Pradesh sees many more over there. Parts of south and east, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra as well, Manipur, Kashmir also in a limited way, Mizoram 1 seat, Meghalaya 2 seats, Nagaland, Puducherry, just 1 seat over there. Rajasthan, 12 seats, so approximately half of the total number of seats in Rajasthan. Sikkim goes to polls as well. There are assembly elections simultaneously in several of these states. And finally, Tamil Nadu, the big one, 39 out of 39 seats in Tamil Nadu. They all go to voting tomorrow, 1 seat in Tripura. Now, in terms of the size of what we are looking at, 102 constituencies, the total number of voters, 16.6 crores, the total number of candidates, 1,625, women candidates, 134 this time around, the total number of polling stations, 1.87 lakh, and personnel deployed, a whopping 18 lakh people. So as you can see, it is absolutely huge. Let's also bring you some numbers on what took place in 2019. Phase 1 in 2019, in these 102 seats, the NDA had 47. The India Alliance didn't exist then, it was the UPA then, had 49. So they were just a little ahead, but that had a lot to do with the performance of the DMK in Tamil Nadu itself. So that is what happened last time around. But if you look at the individual performance of the two big parties, the BJP in this first phase last time around was considerably ahead of the Congress party. Gargi.
All right, Vishnu, thanks for taking us through all those numbers. And let's go across to our panel now. We're joined by Dr. Said Zafar Islam, National Spokesperson, BJP, Pugazendi, VA Pugazendi joining us, National Spokesperson of the AIADMK, Dr. Pooja Tripathi, National Spokesperson, Congress, Salem Dharani Dharan, National Spokesperson of the DMK, Nirja Chaudhary, Senior Journalist, Amitabh Tiwari, Political Strategist, who's here in studio with us, and R.K. Radhakrishnan, Senior Associate Editor, Frontline. Thank you so much all for joining us on the program. And I think, Vishnu, as we were talking, Tamil Nadu is the big one to watch out for. All seats going to the elections tomorrow. It's the state which has seen the maximum number of visits of any Prime Minister in a short period of time, and in this year alone. So I'd like to start by asking Salem Dharani Dharan, how are you feeling ahead of the elections tomorrow, with the Prime Minister giving such a big focus to Tamil Nadu, and we've been hearing the voices of the BJP saying that people of Tamil Nadu are now ready to move beyond Dravidian politics?
Yeah, I think they can say whatever they want to say, but the ground reality is that there's so much love for our Chief Minister, and DMK would win 39 in Tamil Nadu and 1 in Pondicherry. That is 40 on 40. There is so much belief in the Dravidian model. I've been speaking about this in every television debate I've been to. You tell me any BJP rule state, the progress that they have made, and compare it with Tamil Nadu. Is it comparable? No. Any socio-economic, you take Gujarat, for example, which has been ruled by BJP for the last 25 years, and compare it with Tamil Nadu. Any socio-economic, you can't compare. In every metric, Tamil Nadu is better than Gujarat. Every metric. There's not even a single socio-economic metric in which they can say that we have done better than Tamil Nadu.
No, but would the elections necessarily be fought on social metrics alone? There have been lots of themes which have been brought up by the Prime Minister. For example, the issue of the integrity of our boundaries, the Kachativo issue, the entire issue of alliances has been brought up. He has also personally taken it upon himself to champion Tamil identity, something the DMK has been found wanting last time around. So it won't just be on development grounds.
See, but again, rhetoric has to match with action, right?
Okay.
For example, this Prime Minister has visited Tamil Nadu 6-7 times in the recent past. But what happened when the floods happened? He never came here. He never gave the money that we wanted. We didn't get any money for the floods even now. And when the floods happened in Gujarat, he goes the next day. This is stepmotherly treatment.
Point number one. The finance minister was there, the defense minister was there. I mean, those were fairly high-level visits. I mean.
But still, the Prime Minister visited Gujarat, he did not visit Tamil Nadu, and we haven't gotten any money. Gujarat got 1,000 crores.
All right, fair enough. Would you like to reply?
And one more important point. Can I just give me 30
Sure,
seconds?
go ahead.
When it comes to Kachativu issue, what was the BJP doing for the last 10 years? And BJP also formed a committee on fishermen issue, and that committee has not met in the last 2 years. And people in Tamil Nadu understand all those things. And again, when it comes to rhetoric on Tamil, this Prime Minister says has spoken Tamil here and there, broken Tamil, but the fact is, there are no Tamil teachers in Kendra Vijaya School in Tamil Nadu. Tamil is allotted 20 times less money than Sanskrit, a language spoken by 20,000 people. The money for the Classical Tamil Institute has been drastically increased.
Yes.
Sorry, drastically reduced. Right? So rhetoric has to match with action. What have you done for the Tamil language or the culture? You haven't done anything. Right? So you can...
All right, well, let's get a response to that. Dr. Saeed Zafar Islam, your response to that. And when, BJP says, "Ab ki baar 400 par," that, war cry, these were the places that they were hoping to make inroads.
Well, these rhetorics from the DMK spokesperson will not work anymore, because the kind of efforts we have put in, with all sincerity, I can say that we definitely expect at least 12-13 seats we will be able to win, and then in many other places in Tamil Nadu.
12-13,
people are fed up with these political parties. These political parties, we have identified seats. We are putting all efforts there. We are mobilizing all our resources. Not every constituency we are focusing, even though our Honorable Prime Minister is actively visiting there. But our target is that number of seats we have targeted. We are focused there. We have mobilized all our resources there, and we are confident of shocking everyone, including the guy who is speaking from DMK and the DMK leadership, because we know exactly that people are fed up with them. People are fed up with all the other political parties there, and they want a change. And change will come from when they migrate from the Dravidian politics they have, and they definitely were looking for a change.
All right, well, let's get in Mr. Radhakrishnan here.
Because issues, now they can relate with them.
Well, Mr. Radhakrishnan, your comments?
Yeah, Tamil Nadu is slightly different from the reality that you see from Delhi. In Delhi studio says BJP is possibly winning every single seat it is contesting in Tamil Nadu. But let's face facts. Out of the 129 seats in South India in the last elections, which was a complete sweep for the BJP, it won 29, 4 in Telangana and 25 in Karnataka. It's worse this time around because the BJP is contesting without its preferred ally AIADMK, with which it actually won 4 seats in the assembly election in 2021. BJP is a much weaker force. Without the help of the AIADMK, it will not win a single seat in Tamil Nadu. That is what the ground reflects. And in some places, there is a chance that the party comes second. Like for instance, Tirunelveli, I see the possibility of winning only in Puducherry, which of course doesn't fall under Tamil Nadu. It's a union territory. There is a possibility of 1 seat there. Apart from that, Annamalai could come a second or third place. That's the only possibility for the BJP. But look at what has happened in Tamil Nadu. I would go back to the Prime Minister's visits, and I would also like to emphasize the fact that from the time of independence to this day, no Prime Minister of India, despite the fact that Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister for 10 years, and that particular UPA regime, UPA 1, had 13 ministers from Tamil Nadu, 5 in the cabinet and 8 ministers of state. Did not see Manmohan Singh visit more than say 4 times or something like that in all. So the fact is that 8 visits to Tamil Nadu, all after the floods, not a single paisa for flood relief, not even a stone turned to build the All India Institute of Medical Sciences. You would all have seen the viral video where children from the north of India are, kind of trying very hard.
All right, so not enough, as you mentioned, Mr. Radhakrishnan, done as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned. That is your assertion. I just wanted to go across to Amitabh to talk about Modi ki guarantee, which is the premise of the manifesto of the BJP, versus the Nyay Patra, which is the 45-page manifesto of the Congress. Is there anything in either manifesto that you find personally compelling, which you feel might have a real impact?
See, essentially, if you see the latest CSDA survey also, which talks about various issues, unemployment, price rise, etc. If you see the top 3 factors, why are people voting for the BJP? The first is development or the work done in the past 10 years. The second is the social welfare schemes or the Labharthis. And the third is the charisma of Modi, which is the Modi factor. the Nyay has some good innovative schemes on unemployment. However, the issue is that the opposition has not been raising it on a sustainable basis or a sustaining basis for the past 5 years. They have largely been focusing on crony capitalism, etc., which does not resonate with the rural voters, and those are not the real issues. And the problem also with the Congress party will face is that they need to communicate their manifesto promises to the booth level. So, do they have the infrastructure, social media infrastructure, the WhatsApp groups, as well as the soldiers on the ground who would take the message of the guarantees of the Congress party to the booth level? That is going to be a fairly big challenge for the Congress party. And it happened in 2019 also, because when they promised the Nyay Yojana of 72,000 rupees, they were paying almost 12 times what the Prime Minister had announced in the form of a Kisan Nidhi scheme. But the Congress party was not able to educate the voters about its promises, and I think that is a big lacuna which they will have to face.
All right, Nirja Chaudhary, your comments on that, and taking from there, this is something the BJP we see is able to, project to the voters, project to the country. The Prime Minister has been talking about Viksit Bharat, this promise of a developed country by 2047. But equally, he's been talking a lot about the Ram Temple, and we've seen a lot of talk and messaging around that. On the other hand, you have the Congress that has been as Amitabh said right now, not been able to really convey all that it's promising the electorate, but and also its criticisms of the BJP. If we talk about electoral bonds or the ED raids, is this something that they're able to get their messaging right when they take it across to the electorate?
Many people ask what is different about this election in 2024. And I think what is different is that Narendra Modi is seeking a third term. There have been other prime ministers in the past who sought a third term, Jawaharlal Nehru in 62 and won it. Though he soon after that there was the India-China war, his health was frail, and 64 he died. Indira Gandhi in 67 sought a third term, 67 and then 72, 71 and then 77, 10 years later, she was routed all over North India. Dr. Manmohan Singh, the third Prime Minister, who sought a third term, 2004 came to power, 2014 the grand old party was routed, came to 40 plus seats. Narendra Modi is seeking a third term and remains popular and is really, if you ask one issue on the BJP side, Mandir, I have, wherever I've traveled, a little bit in Maharashtra, a little bit in UP, a little bit in Rajasthan, Mandir, people have, has made Hindus very, very happy. But whether it's a major poll getting issue, I don't know. I feel it hasn't had the traction or the momentum has petered out. What is then the central issue on the BJP side? It is Narendra Modi, his leadership, his delivery, and that's the way people are looking at it. On the opposition side, certainly India and Congress, price rise, electoral bonds, joblessness. Yes, there has been a dissatisfaction expressed by many, many people. But whether they'll be able to be a match for Modi, and there, in Rajasthan, for instance, where I was a few days ago, there are Takkar seats. There are seats today, around 10 of them, where there is a contest, unlike the past. Mm-hmm. Now, does this mean that the Modi wave is on the wane a little bit, or does that mean this is a very thanda election, silent election, and it's just gone under? All this we will know. And of course, the real suspense is what if Mr. Modi comes back for a third term, what he will do during that third term.
Sure. I just wanted to go across to Dr. Pooja Tripathi, National Spokesperson of the Congress. Pooja, one of the themes of the BJP in their manifesto and in their election rhetoric is of a strong India. They've spoken about India's GDP growth, the economic resilience, infrastructure development, the international presence of India. They've raised the issue of sovereignty when it comes to Kachativo, etc., etc. If you look at the Congress's manifesto, the BJP says it is retrograde. They say that, for example, the Agnipath scheme, which this government introduced, the BJP says they're going to remove that. Firstly, do you believe or do you deny that the strong BJP, the strong India narrative of the BJP is going to work? Could you unmute yourself? Pooja, I think you just need to...
I disagree,
Yeah,
Vishnu, that Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji is projecting a vision for a strong India or a roadmap for a Viksit Bharat. All he talks about in his political speeches is Mandir, Machli, Mutton and Mughals. 10 years into the power, this is the report card he has to give to a thing. He abuses Congress most of the times, like 2/3 of the time. And then he gives ki sawan mein mutton khate hain, machli khate hain and all that things. If you look at the manifesto, if you look at both the parties' manifesto, there has been, I disagree with Amitabh ji too. If you look at the manifesto, we formed the manifesto committee in December 2023.
Yes.
And we came up with a very landmark manifesto. We talk about the joblessness that's plaguing the country at 65.7%. We talk about the urban guarantee scheme. We talk about scraping the Agnipath. We're talking about giving a guarantee of MSP to the farmers. We're talking about bridging the gender gap in labor force participation rate. We are talking about empowering women. But what does BJP's manifesto actually? They just formed a committee. That's the seriousness for the people's issue. They just formed a manifesto committee 13 days back, and BJP's manifesto is a glorified photo op of Pradhan Mantri Narendra Modi ji in various poses and things. Where the country, Lok Niti CSDS survey was just a week back, where 62% felt that corruption is heavily rampant in the country, where 27% of youth was facing the wrath of unemployment. If you just check unemployment or a job guarantee, you're just popularizing it like a Modi ki guarantee, Modi ki guarantee. What is Modi ki guarantee for the extreme joblessness that this country is facing? What is Modi ki guarantee for the
all right, so let's
youth
get,
that
let's,
is facing
Pooja,
the wrath of
you've raised
also,
8
Pooja,
or 9
you're
points.
talking very,
Let's just get a response.
over here.
Let's get a response from the
This
BJP.
is something that Congress not able to convey as
Let's just
strongly.
quickly get a response from the BJP on
we
this.
are going the old
All right, just a moment. Let's just get a response from the BJP.
Let's just quickly get a
then we'll
BJP
come back
response.
to you.
Let's get a BJP response. Dr. Syed Zafar Islam, go ahead.
I think somebody from the Congress has already spoken that how their manifesto has been prepared. The group of PAs of their senior leaders have actually prepared their manifestos without putting any sincere effort by their senior leaders. So that is the state in which these manifestos have been prepared in the Congress. I do not want to comment on the Congress manifestos because everybody has discarded it. The people of India has discarded it because it's a paper which nobody actually
like
have trust in those whatever has been said. But away from that, please, I didn't interrupt you. Have some decency.
Nobody has discarded our manifesto. Please talk on your manifesto.
Have some
What
patience.
is
Pooja, 1 second. Let's not interrupt.
You will have the.
Dr. Islam, go ahead.
You will have the opportunity. No, you will have the.
Pooja, we don't do this. We try to avoid fighting like this. I gave you an opportunity. Let him respond to that. We'll come back to you if we have time, for sure.
See, I think you should understand that we are not doing it tu meme. When you have the opportunity to speak, I will not interrupt you.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
Away from that, let me tell you that our manifesto is very clear. Our manifesto is absolutely clear. We have identified 10 social sectors which will be our priority. Initially, we had spoken about 4 priority social sectors like Annadata, Garib, and youth and Nari. Now we have added it 10 priorities in the social area, and 14 areas where we need to see the growth momentum in the country. So sectors have been identified, 14 sectors have been identified which will be prioritized by our government once we are elected, because that will take India to another level. We have not committed for any rowdy culture which other political parties are talking about. We have only identified areas which will ensure that the people of this great country will be empowered and the country will be the biggest beneficiary. We are not overly concerned what you have stated in your manifesto.
Right.
We are only
So,
focused on
talking
what we
about
have
all
to
these
deliver
points, but
as
when
per
it
our
comes to the
manifesto,
rallies
we will
and the campaigning, what one the dominant theme is usually around the Ram temple, which we've been hearing, and just now in Ram Navami as well, there was a lot of talk about the Ram temple. So when there's so much that, you're talking about in the manifesto and achievements of the Modi government, somehow it's the Ram temple that seems to be getting most of the airtime.
Not at all. I mean, we are focused on everything. See, that is something which was a commitment in every manifesto in the past. We had made this commitment. Today is the reality. I'm sure that those who have faith in this, in Ram and the Hindu religion, definitely will be happy and thrilled with joys. But we are not asking them to vote because of the temple which has been built. We are basically asking them to vote because what we have been able to deliver, as per our manifesto, whatever commitment we had made, we have been able to deliver it.
Right.
Unlike many other political parties, they just want to project something, but that's a hollow promises they have, they have been making time and again.
All right.
Dr. Islam,
Nobody
half a
trusts
second.
Congress party because they have been promising.
Okay, Dr. Islam, half a second.
Just complete 10 seconds.
Yes.
So they have been promised. So they have been promising that they will provide shelter, they will provide home, they will provide tap water, they will provide electricity connection, they will provide so many things. But did they really provide? Okay. No. Answer is no.
All right.
But we have been able to provide them.
Right. I just wanted to quickly go across to V.A. Pugadendi, national spokesperson of the
AIADMK. Ease of living is something which we have provided.
Right. Dr. Islam, I wanted to just go back to Tamil Nadu. We're joined by Mr. Pugadendi, the national spokesperson of the AIADMK. Sir, the fact is that you broke up with your alliance with the BJP. It seemed to be a straight fight between the DMK and the AIADMK in the state. Do you believe that the DMK and its alliances seems to be better placed than you are presently in these elections?
Good evening, sir. Good evening to NDTV. In 2019, DMK swept all the seats except 30. Because of that former Chief Minister OPS, we won the constituency. The same thing now. I feel that I am very clearly I am saying here because that DMK will get more seats, DMK alliance. That Ramanathapuram and other 4-5 constituency, still the fight, neck to neck fight is there. The Puducherry definitely NDA will win. NDA will get some 5 to 7 seats. That is the race is going on. That is also the fighting between the DMK alliance and here. Because the problem is that two factions now in Tamil Nadu, AIADMK party, split. That is the main reason. That you want to see that the previous election, Amma swept leadership of Jayalalitha, former Chief Minister, 37 seats secured actually. Claimed that. Now it is not possible because another thing is, my friend told from BJP very clearly, the name of Ram Mandir, that not asking the vote or something, demanding, seeking or something. That is not correct also. So the people not giving any importance from Tamil Nadu for Mandir or something. Because Dravidan ideology is here. Continuously still, Periyar, Anna, these things are there, the leaders, MGR, Amma, Jayalalitha, like that. That is the problem is going on. So that last time, this time also, DMK Congress Alliance will get more seats. This is my opinion.
Sure.
I don't know what I didn't see this.
Amitabh, let's just turn our attention now to Bengal. There are 3 seats going to polls this time around. Kuch Bihar, Alipurdwar and Jalpaiguri. These are areas where the BJP has done well. They've got sitting MPs from these 3 seats. The performance of the BJP has dramatically gone up, and not so much in the level of the assembly, in as much as it has gone up in the Lok Sabha level. Do you believe that the BJP finally can give a serious challenge to Mamata Banerjee in Bengal?
It looks like, because there is anti-incumbency also against Mamata Banerjee, and there are 3 M's which are very key there. One is the Mahila vote. Mahila vote, the TMC enjoyed a 4% lead vis-a-vis men. This time, because of the Sandesh Khali incident, BJP hopes to make significant dent in the Mahila vote. The second M is the minority vote. Now, because the Congress and the CPM are contesting separately and there is a fissure in the India bloc, this could even lead to the split of the minority vote. And the minority vote there is fairly high. It is double the national average. So even a 5-10% swing can mean significant vote share, because the TMC enjoys a thin lead of 3% in 2019. And the third M is the Mahajot, again the CPM and the Congress alliance, again who are giving a tough fight to the India bloc, or rather the India bloc friend turned foe turned friend again, like Mamata Banerjee, because they are also facing an existential crisis. If they are not able to win seats this time, then CPM cedes a large amount of space to the BJP and the TMC. The TMC hopes that with the introduction of the CAA, the split of the minority vote does not happen. So these are the moving parts in the Bengal piece. If there is a 5% swing from the TMC to the BJP, there are some 12 seats where BJP finished runner-up, and BJP is hoping to target those seats.
Right, and this time in Bengal again, it's voting across all the 7 phases. This is something pointed out by the opposition, by Mamata Banerjee as well. Neerja Chaudhary, your comments on Bengal, and also what Mamata Banerjee talks about LPF, level playing field. This is something the opposition has been going on and on about when it comes to how they come head to head during these elections, and this concern that there may not be that level playing field.
The states being watched very keenly, Bengal really tops that list. Of course, there is Maharashtra, there is Karnataka. These are called the swing states. But certainly Mamata Banerjee is one of those who's, pushing back the onslaught of the BJP. And the BJP will hope to mop up more than the 18 seats it had got last time, because it's bound to lose in the north 1, 2, 3 in different states. So it has to make that up. It'll either try and make it up in UP and go back to its 2014 tally of 71, and it will try and see how much it can push in West Bengal, where it has an opportunity. So yes, it's absolutely right what was said by my co-panelists, that minorities this time are not going to waste their vote at all. And I think that's an internal decision. Women, yes. And then this sub-national feeling that Mamata Banerjee has often played on in the past, and that is the Bengali nationalism. I think she will try and do that. Of course, the delivery, the schemes, which will be by both sides. Yeah. They have the BJP has the Labhartis, Mamata Banerjee has a slew of her programs and schemes for people. So let's see. It's a very keenly contested and keenly watched state, West Bengal.
Sure. Dr. Pooja Tripathi, let's turn our attention now to Rajasthan. You've had a disastrous performance recently in the assembly elections. Obviously, caste arithmetic is something which is critical in all states, but certainly in Rajasthan. But keeping that aside for a moment, the entire issue of leadership of your party within Rajasthan, do you believe that the crisis that the Congress has been in is close to being resolved?
It's absolutely dissolved, Vishnu. The crisis had long foregone, and we are fighting these elections. We fought the assembly elections as a united front, and we are fighting these elections as a united front. And I want to reiterate what your field reporter just said, that it's not just a swing by wave in Rajasthan. There are closely contested seats. I remember she mentioned Churu, and that's why we hope and we are very confident of improving our 2019 tally in Rajasthan.
Right, there was talk of how Mr. Ashok Gehlot might be asked to contest, Sachin Pilot may be asked to contest this election. None of that happened. Now there's criticism that Ashok Gehlot is, spending too much time with the Vaibhav Gehlot's campaign. So there's still a lot of issues that remain within the leadership of the Congress party.
Sachin Pilot has been taking, back-to-back political rallies. He's been campaigning for the candidates. And there will always be talk. Whenever elections are around the corner, there will be talk. Somebody is contesting, somebody is not. Somebody has been asked to contest, and these are just hearsay rumors. Ashok Gehlot ji is contributing to the campaign of all the candidates, and definitely to Jodhpur too, because his son is contesting, and we wish to retain. We wish to win the Jodhpur seat. But both Ashok Gehlot and Sachin Pilot and the whole Congress unit, with the support from the Delhi team, is contesting these elections as a united front.
Neerja, let's take a look now at Maharashtra. How is it, in a sense, there's so many battles, internal small battles within battles being fought out in Maharashtra. It's a battle of identity for the Shiv Sena factions,
two NCPs.
Then the Mahayuti and the MVA are both looking to consolidate their relatively newly formed alliances. In fact, the Mahayuti is very new. How significant is it in terms of all of these formations and these parties re-identifying themselves with a larger population? Nija, go ahead.
Oh, this is mine?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, Vishnu. Maharashtra, as I said, is a very critical one. And tomorrow's state, Nagpur, where Mr. Gadkari is seeking re-election, it's again a very significant one happening, Ramtek. But overall in Maharashtra, it's a very confused scene because since the last elections, you had two parties split. The Shiv Sena split and the dominant group went to the BJP. The NCP split and the dominant group led by the large number of MLAs went towards the BJP. So now you have the Mahayuti versus the NDA on the opposition side, and made up of several parties. On the BJP side is the authority and the power of the state, organizational heft of these parties that have split. On the other side, under Uddhav Thackeray, Sharad Pawar, there has been sympathy for them, even though they don't have their MLAs with them or the organizational structure left with them. And therefore, this remains to be, and of course, there is the Congress party.
Right.
It remains to be seen how this, the organization plus power versus sympathy pans out in elections. So that is being also watched very, very carefully.
A quick comment, Amitabh, also, and the fact that Maharashtra spread over 5 phases.
Yeah, so it's spread over 5 phases, but last time also there were 4 phases largely. So the real question is, who is the real Sena and who is the real NCP? Who has the votes? Shinde and Ajit Pawar have the MLAs and the MPs, but do they have the votes? And as Nirja ma'am said, does Uddhav Thackeray or Sharad Pawar enjoy the sympathy factor? See, in any alliance, seamless transfer of vote is very important. Now, Shinde faction and Ajit Pawar faction have a bit of advantage of the symbol. Symbol plays a key role because even when you go to rural areas today, BJP is identified as a party of fool in the tribal areas if you go. So the symbol could lose a few votes for the Sharad Pawar faction and the Uddhav Thackeray faction.
All right. All right, we're running out of time completely, but thank you so much for joining us. And tomorrow, the first phase of elections begin. Thank you to all the panelists for joining us today on the show.
Well, we're going to take a short break. Up after that, an exclusive interview with Basuri Swaraj. She's